No one in the Sapphire Tower noticed the janitor who quietly mopped their polished marble floors. No one except the billionaire heiress whose life he was about to save with a single, unexpected, world-shaking kiss. The kindness that started with a breath. Elias Ward had lived most of his 34 years learning how to stay invisible. As the night janitor of Sapphire Tower, one of the wealthiest corporate buildings in the city, he understood that people liked their cleaners quiet, efficient, and unseen. He didn't mind. Life had already stripped him of pride, home, and dreams, but it had left him one treasure: Lily, his 6-year-old daughter with honey hair and 2 big glasses. He worked for her. He breathed for her. He survived for her. Tonight was like any other night, until it wasn't. The storm outside hammered rain against the tower windows, and the city lights flickered like trembling candles. Elias pushed his cleaning cart toward the 48th floor penthouse boardroom, humming softly to keep himself awake. He never expected to find Aurora Vale, the reclusive billionaire philanthropist, collapsed on the floor, gasping for air. The woman no one thought could fall. Aurora Vale was a name whispered with equal parts awe and intimidation. Elegant, brilliant, untouchable. She built companies like other people built card towers, effortlessly, beautifully, and without ever letting them fall. But tonight, she wasn't untouchable. She wasn't powerful. She was dying. Elias froze. Her face was turning blue. Her breaths were short, sharp, desperate. Her hands clawed at her throat. A panic attack? No, he saw the signs. He had studied emergency care years ago when Lily was born premature and fragile. He knew allergic reactions. He recognized anaphylaxis. On the table beside her lay a plate of half-eaten pastries sprinkled with crushed nuts. Her EpiPen rolled uselessly on the carpet, its cap still on. She was seconds away from losing consciousness. The moment that changed 2 lives. Elias knelt beside her, heart hammering. "Miss Vale, Aurora, look at me," he said, voice steady despite the cold fear stabbing his chest. Her eyes fluttered, unfocused. Time was slipping. He injected the EpiPen into her thigh, but she was choking too violently to pull enough air into her lungs. Her throat was swelling shut. She wasn't going to breathe. Not unless he helped her manually. He hesitated only half a second. A kiss was nothing romantic here. It was survival. He sealed his mouth over hers, giving gentle, rhythmic breaths, life moving from his lungs into hers. He held her jaw open, trying desperately to keep her airway from collapsing entirely. "Come on," he whispered into her mouth. "Breathe. Stay with me." Another breath. And another. Until a shudder ran through her body. Air finally rushed in. Her chest rose, her own breath returning. Elias sagged to the floor, shaking. He had saved her life with the most unexpected, unintended kiss imaginable. A billionaire awakes to a stranger's kindness. When Aurora's eyes opened again, she found herself lying against the boardroom couch. A wool coat, Elias's, had been wrapped around her like a blanket. He sat across from her, drenched in sweat and rain, face pale with worry. "You're awake," he breathed, relief washing over him like a tide. "Thank God." Her voice was barely a whisper. "You saved me." He tried to shrug it off. Anyone would've. "No," she whispered, steadying herself. "No, not anyone." She searched his face, his unshaven jaw, the shadows of exhaustion under his eyes, the quiet humility of a man who had forgotten how to take credit for anything. "What's your name?" she asked. "Elias." "You're the janitor, aren't you?" He nodded. Her gaze softened, not with pity, but with something achingly human. Gratitude, respect, curiosity. "And you gave me CPR?" she asked. He flushed. "Yeah." The EpiPen wasn't working fast enough. I'm sorry, Don't apologize," she said sharply but warmly. "You saved my life." Silence fell, thick, fragile, full of unspoken thoughts. A kindness that unlocked a broken heart. Aurora had spent years surrounded by wealth, power, and people who followed her commands out of fear or greed. But none of them had ever looked at her the way Elias did, like she was simply a person. "No one has held me like that in years," she murmured, surprising herself. Elias looked startled. I didn't." She smiled gently, the kind that made her seem less like a billionaire goddess and more like a woman who had forgotten how to feel soft things. "I know. And that's why it meant more." Elias stood, nervous energy flickering in his movements. "I should get back to work. They'll fire me if I don't finish the floors." Aurora stared at him. This man had saved her life, and he thought he needed to mop floors tonight. "What do they pay you?" she asked suddenly. He stiffened. "Enough." "Enough for what?" "To get by." "And your daughter? Does she get by too?" His eyes widened. "How do you?" "You whispered her name while giving me breaths," she said softly. "Lily." Elias swallowed hard. "My daughter is everything. She needs more than I can give." Aurora's heart tightened. The man who had given her life back lived a life of scraping by. "Bring her tomorrow," Aurora said without thinking. "To my office. I want to meet the girl who kept her father strong enough to save me. The girl who melted a billionaire's walls." The next afternoon, Lily walked into Aurora's office wearing pink rain boots and clutching a plush box. Aurora knelt to the little girl's height. "You're very brave," Lily said before Aurora could speak. Aurora blinked. "Me? My daddy saved you because you were fighting really hard to breathe," Lily declared confidently. "That's what he says bravery is." Elias flushed bright red. "Lily." Aurora's eyes shimmered. In all her wealth, she had never received a compliment that felt so pure. "Do you like drawing?" Aurora asked gently. "I love drawing." Aurora waved toward a beautifully arranged art table she'd had her assistant set up that morning. Markers, paints, coloring books, even a little easel. Lily gasped. "Daddy, look." "This is the princess art stuff." Aurora laughed, an honest, light sound she hadn't made in years. It felt healing. Kindness spreads into two broken worlds. Over the next few weeks, Aurora insisted on helping Elias without ever making him feel small. She upgraded his schedule so he could spend evenings with Lily. She arranged a scholarship for Lily in one of the best schools. She quietly doubled his salary under the guise of special services. Elias protested every time, but she would always smile and say, "You gave me my life back, Elias. I'm simply giving you the pieces I can." And slowly, very slowly, he allowed himself to accept her kindness. For the first time, someone was taking care of him. The night she saw working hands and soft eyes. One late evening, Aurora walked into the janitor's closet, something she had never done in her life. Elias stood there, sleeves rolled up, fixing a vacuum cord with careful, patient hands. "You shouldn't be here," he said, startled. "I know," she said softly. "But I wanted to thank you again." He exhaled. "You've already thanked me more."